So one of the more interesting things to come out from post-war Britain, other than of course military masks, we've got the C7 here, which I've had to lower the camera a little bit while it's here. This one has the gold mushroom valve on it. This was meant to be an improvement over the general civilian respirator that we all saw, that was mainly issued around 1937, made by an absolute fucking armful of different makers. This one essentially tried to improve the design. They seem to take some inspiration from the nape strap that Germany used a lot during the war. I'll talk a bit more about this mask in a more comfortable position. I just wanted to move it away for the intro. So the C7, like I say, a Cold War British civilian gas mask. This one made by WW in May 1954. PR174, I don't know what that means. Here's your gold mushroom valve, which I've heard can come off, but this one's a little bit temperamental, so I'm not going to force it. They can come in silver as well. Plastic lenses, like I say, metal. This is actually a crappy tin ring, if I remember correctly. It's an interesting construction. You see here where the rubber overlaps. This one's cracking in places. A slight variation of the design from the general civilian respirator. And like I say, now it's got a nape strap for that added security. Although for me it's just a pain in the ass to get on. This is not fitting on the head very well, so I might take it off briefly. Let's see here, so he might, after he does it. I don't really know what this logo means. This one is size 1. See there, printed through. This is the smallest size it comes to that I believe. I'm not sure if there was a size 0, there shouldn't be, but this is for small children. This is why it didn't fit very well on this. There was 4 sizes, if I remember correctly, 4 being the largest. I can't remember if there's a 5th, but I'll correct myself, comments on it. Typical band over the filter, as we saw with the general civilian respirator, so that you could change the filter. Oh, here we go, sorry, here we go. Made by BTR, not WW, I'm a fucking idiot. Or maybe they made the band. BTR, who I can't say I know off the top of my head, June 1954. So, the 6th, 1954. Correcting myself in one video. It's always nice. So yeah, the band was made at a different time than the actual face piece. And I can't vouch for the filter because there may be a date stamp on it. In here we can see it says Lotus 754. And that's the inner face piece here. Double piece. With the old broad arrow symbol. A couple of numbers. You can see there the green plastic of the, or at least, yeah, there you go, of where the exhale valve is. It's missing the inlet valve. The filter, here we go, is dated 7/7/54. So the 7th of July 1954. And I can't really make out what that says. I can see what appears to be Mark. Is that Mark 1? That's difficult to read. And a bunch of other stuff that is borderline unreadable. But interesting nonetheless. See on here, we've got 10047 PR161. So, fabric straps that of course you can adjust quite easily. Come on, focus, I'm over here. Thank you. There's actually some small numbers on there. Come through, come back through. Don't go the other side. Thank you. So pull this closer. Cool. If I pull this through here, you can see the metal rim of the lenses as well, and some reinforcements. Now, one of the things I was not aware of, because I'd never bothered reading like the wiki or something from this, is it has an inflated seal, or at least a sort of inflated seal. It's pre-inflated, I'm guessing. An early concept that would later go on to the S6 design, and also Norway actually used it from 59, I believe it was, with their through to the 60s, maybe even further, with their Helly Hansen masks, as we saw with the IMB. A couple of numbers on there. There's a 15. What does that say? You'll be able to read, I won't be able to get the angle. PR176, and then 1954, written on the green exhale valve cover. There's not a lot to talk about this really. There's not a lot of these around because there were rumours going around thanks to a YouTuber that these were dumped into the ocean as a guess of where they all went, but there's absolutely no evidence that they ever did that. So it's a shame. It's one of the more interesting masks. Their rareness to actual usefulness ratio is fucking unreasonable. If I remember correctly, back in the day, off the top of my head, they would have said, hey, you can buy your gas mask, and then they probably recalled it, if I remember correctly, as that went, and went, hey, have your money back. But there's no confirmation. We've got very little information on this damn thing, whether or not it was actually issued en masse or not, which it most likely was. I can't remember if it was or wasn't. I always double check on the wiki, kids. There's just not a lot going for this mask, and quite frankly, it's not even that worth it. There are people spearheading it, of course, but it's not like it matters in the end, because all they're going to find out is that this mask was completely underwhelming and didn't really even have to see use, because the Cold War never really went anywhere. Did the Cold War start in the 50s? I can't remember. But regardless, I know people who were born in the early 1950s, like 1951, 1953, and they weren't ever issued one of these. So it seems to be very hit and miss. My guess was that it was made as a precaution, just in case of anything, and they would issue them at the first site that there would be an issue, and then continue to mass produce them, but that it just never really mattered. The Soviets kept to themselves, for the fucking most part. Thankfully, we were never nuked, and we never would have needed these in the end. Well, gas attacks, whatever, but of course, following World War II, there were concerns, as would be reasonable. That's about all I can really mention on the damn thing. It's interesting to see. It's not really that cool. I'm more interested to talk about the sizes, because it seemed for a while that no one really knew what the sizes were. A lot of people had size 2, and we all thought, oh, there's probably only 3 sizes like the GCR, and that 2 was a medium, but 2 was very small, and so now we've got a size 1. Big thanks to the person on Instagram who sold this to Nick, who had to have it sent to me to have it sent to Nick. Because I can't remember his Instagram, but I might link him down below if he wants to be. But where was I? Yeah, he claims that there was 4 sizes. I cannot remember if there was a 5th, but at least now we know that it goes in the opposite direction. It's quite similar to Soviet sizes with this. I don't know at what point we all transferred over to the more NATO standard sizing. Well, I do with the military shit, but I don't know if it was ever done with anything else, or if it was ever like a proof of concept, because there was evidence that we tried using Helly Hansen masks for a while, and they used size 1 being large, size 3 being small. Anyway, that's about all I really want to talk about with this. C7, size 1 small, smallest most likely. Pretty interesting to see, and that's about it. Worth noting, and nothing more.